Hey everyone, I wanted to do a video today to talk about the Minn Kota Terrova and the Livescope. I've been through it all. I've tried a number of things, and I wanted to point out a system that I'm using that's helped me maybe utilize the Livescope with the Minn Kota Terrova the best that I possibly could. And unfortunately, it's taken a mix of products to get it done, but it's something I wanted to share since I've been following other people's YouTube videos to try to find out the best system for the Minn Kota Terrova. So stick around, we'll go over Minn Kota Terrova, Livescope, Brian's best setup, and the mix of products to get it done. Okay, so I've been all over the Minn Kota Terrova setup here. I've got a Minn Kota Terrova. The reason I have a Minn Kota Terrova is because it comes as a package deal with this boat through the dealership that I'm on the pro staff of, and I rep this boat. I rep this package. So with it comes a Minn Kota Terrova trolling motor. It's a US 2 iPilot Link 84-pound thrust Minn Kota Terrova. And the unique thing about a Minn Kota Terrova is that it's got a slide through or a pull through mechanism, and there are a bunch of products out there and ways that you can deal with the Livescope, and they're innovative, but they're not all perfect. And I'm a tournament bass angler in team series with my son, and we're trolling motors in and out of the water a lot during a fishing day. So ease of use was a concern of mine, and there are products out there to try to help with it. The one product that I got was the cornfield crappie system from Minn Kota Terrova, and it involves some bracketry, and I'm going to hit you with a couple of different camera angles here so that we can see everything. But it's got a couple of different brackets, one on the bottom of the bracket, which is still on the bottom of the trolling motor. That bracket fits around the bottom and screws on, and then there's a second bracket, and that second bracket goes up top on the trolling motor, and then there is a cable system that runs between them, and I'll show a picture of a setup one up there. But this heavy cable runs from the base of the trolling motor, from the one bracket up to the head of the trolling motor, and then that tight cable, you know, is this protective cable has got your Livescope transducer cable in it, and there's a lot of tension, a lot of weight, a lot of cords, and a lot of stuff to get in your way up there. So I set it up, I ran it for a day or two, did not like that system. I liked the bracketry, thought that was a pretty cool idea, but I did not like the heavy cable guard and the cable in the way. That was an absolute no-go for me. So then the next thing I did is I just mounted the Livescope transducer to the barrel of the trolling motor. Right here I put some tape on the barrel of my trolling motor. I mounted my Livescope here, and I could use it in forward view only. And that worked for a tournament season because of my cable setup, and that's one of the things we'll talk a little bit about here today is what I've got done with my cable. And you've got a transducer cable that's running only to the black box in your transducer, and on my particular trolling motor here, I put some key placements of some wire ties in there, and then that cable is sheathed with a cable sheathing, much like a fish sock type cable. So it's a smooth nylon cable covering on my transducer cable, and that coils neatly in a space that exists right above the barrel of the trolling motor, right below the Minn Kota Terrova gearbox mechanism here. And that is almost natural place for that cable to coil up, and what that coating or that nylon material on the rod sock type material on that coating on that cable does is it allows it to smoothly engage and deploy. And let's see if I can get this thing. I'm going to press the button, get it started here a little bit, and you can see as I pull this thing, and forgive me because I'm doing it with one hand here, get this up, and as I, hold on one second, I'll get back to you. right here, you'll see where that was all neatly coiled up at that base. As I pull that trolling motor out, that cable comes out around and coils neatly around the trolling motor shaft. I'm going to drop it all the way down and I'll show you. See how that neatly coils around the trolling motor shaft? And then that spins freely. When the trolling motor spins, this stays in place. And the lack of friction there from that nylon case allows that cable to wrap around this pole, or not wrap around this pole, and just spin freely. And then when I put it back up, and this thing is pushed back in towards its area, all that cable neatly comes back up and locks back in that space. And so I don't need any cable management. My cord for the top of the transducer runs and is just wire tied at the center here, and wire tied here at the base, just loosely. And then the cord runs to my black box up under my front deck. So no cable management issues, very neatly stores, smoothly, freely spins, the shaft spins without binding any cable up. No pinching because of all this room available right here for this to coil up, and getting the right tension set, the right coil tension initially is important. But what did the cable setup plus the one cornfield crappie bracket right here allows me to put a fish obsessed mount, and this is the fish obsessed mount, and you can see right here I would be in forward view with this thing, and it faces the same direction as the barrel of my trolling motor. I'm in forward view, and then with a simple 2 clicks of the fish obsessed mount, pops over, and I'm in perspective mode, just with a couple of clicks, and just a couple of clicks back, and I'm back in forward view. And when I previously had it on the barrel, I could only fish forward view. I could not do perspective view. Perspective view is very important to me certain times of the season. So having this one piece of the cornfield crappie system and a fish obsessed mount, I'm able to have all of the views ready to myself. This little cable management system here, coiled around the base of my Terrova, and I've got the whole situation solved. So, although I could find no perfect solution with one product, a combination of products and situations helped me out. And those combinations were, one, the cornfield crappie Terrova base. I didn't need the top, I needed the bottom piece. I think you're probably going to have to buy the whole thing. I'm not sure that they'll sell you just the bottom, but just the bottom base. The fish obsessed perspective mount, and using some rod socks or nylon cable cover for my transducer cable to guard the whole cable and to allow it to spin smoothly on the shaft and coil neatly into this space, this 4 to 5 inches that's provided when a Minn Kota Terrova locks up into position, allows that cable to freely move and freely lock in without any binding or pinching of that cable. So that's my perfect setup, combination of 3 different kind of techniques matched into one. I'm up and down, this trolling motor is up and down, 50, 60, more, 100 times a day when I'm in a tournament situation. And I needed something with easy cable management, no big tension, big cables running up the side in my way, and the ability to be able to go between forward and perspective and down modes with just some simple clicks out to the side of the trolling motor. The one other benefit that I have is that this thing is offset. Then you can see it's not on the front. I didn't put it out to the front. I put it off to the side because I fish on that side, and it's more lined up with me and my body line and my cast line than the center of the trolling motor. So I point the center of the trolling motor in the direction, but I'm more lined up with my cast with this thing offset 8 inches over to the side, or maybe 10 inches over to the side. So works a better system for me. Give it a try if you're a Minn Kota Terrova user. I think you'll like the ease of it, the simplicity of it, and the neatness of it without having heavy cable guards and things all over the place. You'll free yourself up from just having to use the barrel. You'll be able to use perspective mode and get kind of the full functionality of the Livescope. So hope that was helpful for you. Please like and subscribe, and we'll talk to you guys next time. Okay, Garmin, stop recording.